whispered facts about Christmas, but it's such a broad theme that I thought it might be fun to just read out a couple of different Christmas traditions across the world. And I found a really nice website that does a couple of different topics, like the different origins of Christmas, some Christmas traditions around the world, some weird Christmas customs, etc. So I will just be reading those out to you. I am wearing my hat today. It's not too warm in my living room, so I can wear it. It's it's like a knit Santa hat that I've had for years. I always wear it in the winter when I go outside for a walk, and I really love it. So yeah, let's get started. So we'll start with the origins of Christmas. The origins of Christmas can be traced back to ancient pagan celebrations such as, I hope I'm not going to butcher this, Deus Sol Invictus, the Galens, and Saturnalia. The Christian Church disapproved of these festivals and co-opted the holidays by declaring December 25th as Jesus' birthday. Mistletoe was held sacred by the Norse, the Celtic Druids, and Native American Indians because it remains green and bears fruit during the winter when other plants seem to die. Druids thought the plant had the power to cure infertility and nervous diseases and to ward off evil. Long before there were Christmas trees, the pagans revered evergreens as symbols of eternal life and rebirth. Pope Julius I, the Bishop of Rome, originally proclaimed December 25th the official celebration day for Jesus' birthday back in 350 AD. The city of Riga in Latvia holds the claim as home to history's first decorated Christmas tree back in 1510. The Midwinter Festival of Yule has been celebrated by the Germanic peoples since at least the 4th century. Yule, which is also called winter solstice, is the longest night of the year and the time of greatest darkness. According to Old English folk tales, the devil died when Jesus was born, so some towns developed a Christmas Eve tradition of ringing the church bells near midnight to announce the devil's demise. In England, this custom was called tolling or ringing the devil's knell. Scotland has historically made a much bigger deal of celebrating Hogmanay, the last day of the year, or New Year's Eve, than Christmas. In fact, Christmas was banned by the country's parliament for more than 300 years and was only made legal again in 1958. So now some fun Christmas traditions. And I don't know if all of these are true. If you're from these countries, let me know if they're true. Find the pickle, a pickle-shaped ornament hidden somewhere on the Christmas tree, with the person who finds it getting an extra present, is a common American Christmas tradition. I've never heard of it, so don't know if that one's true. As you might imagine, Christmas in Hawaii is a decidedly tropical affair. Many locals import their traditional firs and pines from the U.S. mainland, arriving long before the holiday starts on the Christmas tree ship. Others get creative, decorating palm trees with lights and ornaments and using outrigger canoes and dolphins to resemble Santa's sleigh and reindeer. In the Marshall Islands, people prepare for Christmas months in advance, stockpiling gifts and dividing into sheptas or teams that hold song and dance competitions on Christmas Day. They also build a piñata-like wojke containing little presents, matches, money, or soap for God. In Argentina, Christmas customs are a blend of American, European, and Hispanic traditions. Their celebrations typically include the boots of Father Christmas, red and white flowers, and putting cotton on Christmas trees to simulate snow. But most family gatherings in Argentina take place on Christmas Eve, with huge feasts, gifts exchanged at midnight, and children going to sleep to the sound of fireworks. In Peru, December 24th, which is known as La Noche Buena, the Good Night, is the main day for celebrations. After Mass, families go home to feast, open gifts, and toast each other at midnight. In spite of Ethiopia's Christian heritage, Christmas is not an important holiday there. Most people actually call the holiday Gana or Gena after a hockey-like ball game played only once a year on Christmas afternoon. People in Iceland will often exchange books on Christmas Eve, then spend the rest of the night reading them and eating chocolate. The tradition is part of a season called Jólabókaflót, or the Christmas Book Flood. As a result, Iceland publishes more books per capita than any other country, selling most of them between September and November. Early illustrations of Santa Claus pictured him as a stern, commanding disciplinarian holding a birch rod. The jolly old elf we know and love today was created by artist Haddon Sundblom for a Coca-Cola ad. Tom Smith invented Christmas crackers around 1846. He was inspired by the French habit of wrapping sugared almonds in twists of paper as gifts. On Christmas Day, tradition allows Lebanese children to go up to any adult and say, "Editi alek, you have a gift for me." If the adult has a present to spare, the kids add this to their Christmas morning haul. Syrian children receive gifts from one of the wise men's camels, purported to be the youngest and smallest in the caravan, who fell down exhausted at the end of the long journey to Bethlehem. Okay, so moving on to traditional Christmas dinners. Have you ever heard of king cake, the popular dessert served in New Orleans during Mardi Gras season? The Spanish have a similar tradition of serving a sweet bread ring known as roscon de reyes on January 6th during celebrations of King's Day to commemorate the arrival of the three wise men. Belgium actually has that too, so we celebrate January 6th and we go get a cake at the bakery, and there's a bean inside the cake. It's like a little hard nut, I think, and whoever gets the slice with the bean inside gets to wear the crown for a day. It comes with like a paper crown, and I haven't done that in a really long time, but it's something I always really looked forward to as a child, that we would get that cake and hopefully I would be able to wear the crown. Fruitcake originated in ancient Egypt, where it was considered essential for the afterlife. Roast turkey didn't appear consistently on Christmas Day menus until 1851, when it replaced roast swan as the favorite dish of royal courts. Winning the award for longest preparation time, Greenland's traditional Christmas dish, kiviak, takes a full 7 months to prepare. It begins with hollowing out a seal skin and stuffing it with 500 auks, a seabird, feathers and all, to ferment. When the holiday rolls around, it's served straight from the seal. I don't know how I feel about that. Christmas pudding was originally more than just a tasty treat. Small items such as coins and buttons were put inside and supposedly foretold what the new year would bring. The candy cane's origins can be traced back to Europe circa 1670, but it didn't appear in the US until the 1800s. They were generally all white until the 1900s, when they took on a shape representing Jesus' hook for shepherding his lambs, and colors representing purity, white, and Christ's sacrifice, red. There are 12 courses in the traditional Ukrainian Christmas Eve supper, each of them dedicated to one of Christ's apostles. In Ghana, many people observe a traditional folk libation ritual at Christmas time. In it, people drink from a cup and then pour some of its contents on the ground as a symbolic offering to their ancestors. Christmas rituals in East African countries such as Kenya and Uganda are much more religious and less commercial than our Western holiday. The most common gift is a new outfit to wear to church, and many people collect stones, leaves, and other natural items as a birthday present for Jesus. Roasted goats are often the center of the Christmas feast. South Africa is home to some of the world's most unusual holiday food fare. Every December, locals feast on a seasonal delicacy, the deep-fried caterpillars of emperor moths. I don't know if I think that's weirder than the seal in Greenland, though. Most people think of Japanese cuisine, which largely centers around seafood and rice, as being relatively healthy. So it may come as a surprise to know that family Christmas traditions in Japan include eating their big holiday meal at KFC. So now on to some traditional Christmas decorations. The Christmas tradition of hanging stockings allegedly began with 3 poor sisters who couldn't afford a marriage dowry. The wealthy Bishop St. Nicholas of Smyrna, which is now Turkey, saved them from a life of prostitution by sneaking down their chimney and filling their stockings with gold coins. The tradition of tinsel, which was invented in Germany in 1610, is based on a legend about spiders whose web turned into silver when they were spun in a Christmas tree. Spider webs are common tree decorations in Poland because, according to legend, a spider wove a blanket for baby Jesus. Many Polish people consider spiders to be symbols of goodness and prosperity. The Advent wreath began in Germany as a Lutheran tradition, but eventually spread to other Christian denominations, including the Catholic and Episcopalian churches. Round glass Christmas ornaments were inspired by the shape of apples. Apples were the original Christmas ornaments put on the tree to symbolize the Garden of Eden. In Greek culture, kissing under the mistletoe was considered an unspoken promise to marry your mate. Though only 2% of the nation's population is Christian, Christmas is a national holiday in India. Even non-Christians observe Christmas traditions such as lighting oil lamps along the perimeter of the home's courtyard or roof. The idea for electric Christmas light displays was first introduced by Thomas Edison's assistant. But it was American Ralph Morris who invented the type of lights we use today, adapting them from lights used in telephone switchboards in 1895. One of Sweden's more unique Christmas traditions is a Yule goat made of straw, who is believed to help guard the Christmas tree. Straw is commonly used for holiday decorations in Scandinavian homes because it reminds them that Jesus was born in a manger. The undisputed award for creepiest Christmas custom goes to Krampus, which was popularized in the US by a 2015 horror comedy film. In the folklore of Central Europe, Krampus is a half-goat, half-demon creature with a hideous face, horns, fangs, and a long pointed tongue. Where Saint Nick rewards good little girls and boys with gifts, legend in the Alpine countries holds that Krampus comes to punish the naughty. Some versions suggest he'll swat them with birch branches, while others involve a sack for taking them to hell. He traditionally appears during festivals on Krampusnacht, December 5th, the night before the feast of St. Nicholas. Bolivians celebrate Misa del Gallo, Master of the Rooster, on Christmas Eve, with people bringing roosters to midnight mass to symbolize the belief that a rooster was the first animal to announce the birth of Jesus Christ. In Guatemala's villages, local men in devil costumes appear on the streets and chase children during the first week of Advent. That's kind of creepy. Although I'm sure the children know that it's fake, but still. The Devil's Reign ends on December 7th with a folk ritual known as the Burning of the Devil, where people pile objects they no longer want or need in front of their houses, scatter firecrackers on top of the heap, and set fire to it. In Catalonia in Spain, they have a uniquely bizarre holiday tradition known as the Caga Tio, or pooping log. Kids will decorate a small log by adding wooden legs, a face, clothing, and a Catalan hat. They'll keep the log in their home or school, feeding it small pieces of bread or fruit every day. On Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, they hit the pooping log with a stick while singing a special song encouraging him to poop out plenty of sweets for them. I'm kind of torn somewhere between really cute and really weird. In Estonia, people believed that the first visitor on Christmas, called the first footer, would determine the household's luck. Dark-haired men were seen as desirable first footers, but women and fair-haired or red-headed men were often deemed unlucky. The Night of the Radishes is one of the annual Christmas customs in Oaxaca, Mexico. On December 23rd, competitors carve nativity scenes into large radishes, which are proudly displayed at the Christmas market. Oaxaca has land dedicated to cultivating special vegetables just for this event. The Norwegian tradition of Julebukk, or Christmas goat, finds groups of costumed people walking through their neighborhood on Christmas Day, entertaining people with songs in exchange for treats. These groups will bring a goat along or have someone impersonate a goat's typically unruly behavior. If two costumed goats meet, they'll often engage in a play fight to entertain the crowd. A lot of Christmas traditions have goats in them, which I did not know. According to Italian legend, a kind witch called La Befana flies around on her broomstick on the night of January 5th, bringing gifts to worthy children and lumps of coal to the naughty ones. According to a Greek legend, malicious goblins called Kalikantsari would come up from their underground homes on December 25th and would play tricks on humans until the 6th of January. You could get rid of them by burning logs or old shoes, or hanging sausages or sweetmeats in the chimney. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was invented by Montgomery Ward, copywriter Robert L. May in 1939 as a way to lure customers into the store. Children in Brazil often receive gifts from the Magi, or on Three Kings Day, or Epiphany, as well as from Papa Noel on Christmas Eve. With no use for chimneys in the tropical climate, they believe Papa Noel enters via the front door and travels via helicopter rather than a reindeer-drawn sleigh. Puritan Oliver Cromwell made Christmas illegal in England from 1647 to 1660, claiming it was immoral to hold a celebration on one of the year's holiest days. In the Czech Republic, Santa doesn't come on Christmas, but on St. Nicholas Eve, which is December 5th. That night, Czech children are excited to watch for him to show up. He normally arrives accompanied by one or more angels and one or more devils. He asks the kids if they've been good all year and also asks them to sing a song or recite a poem, then gives them a basket of presents, often containing chocolate and fruit. If they've been naughty, the devil might give them a lump of coal. As in the Netherlands and other European countries, St. Nicholas Day is a separate holiday from Christmas. Yeah, we also have St. Nicholas in Belgium on December 6th, and it is not replacing Santa. Like, Santa and St. Nicholas are two different people for us. And we put a shoe next to the fireplace, but most people in Belgium don't have one. I grew up in an apartment, so I definitely didn't. But we would put our shoe out at night on December 5th, and then when we woke up on December 6th, there would be presents there and like little mandarins stuffed in the shoe, and we would also get chocolate and marzipan. Christmas cards, which originated in England, were first sent in the 1840s. It takes Christmas trees around 15 years to grow 6 to 8 feet. There are approximately 30 to 35 million Christmas trees grown annually. In Costa Rica, the Christmas flower is the orchid. Alabama was the first state to declare Christmas an official holiday in 1836. It wasn't declared a national holiday in the United States until 1870. In Austria, farmers traditionally chalk the initials of the three wise men on the archway above stable doors. George Frederick Handel's timeless Christmas classic, The Messiah, was first performed in Dublin, Ireland in 1742. The Canadian province of Nova Scotia leads the world in exporting three things: lobster, wild blueberries, and Christmas trees. In January of 2003, after a decree of authorization by President Hosni Mubarak, Christmas was observed as a national holiday in Egypt. This marked the first time in the nation's modern history that a Christian holiday was officially recognized by the Egyptian government. Russia was never really big on Christmas customs during the Soviet era. Nowadays, their version of Santa Claus is known as Ded Moroz, Grandfather Frost. He delivers presents to children at midnight on New Year's Eve with the help of his granddaughter, the Snow Maiden. And that's all there is. I'd be very curious to hear all your Christmas traditions down below. Both Belgium and Ireland, I think, are not that different from kind of what a lot of people in the world do. In my family, personally, Christmas Eve is a lot more important than Christmas Day. We celebrate it more. we start celebrating it at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and we are pretty much not done until about 10 at night, and then we tend to open presents at midnight. We still celebrate Christmas Day, but it's shorter. We have dinner in the afternoon and sit at the table for a couple of hours, and then we're kind of done a very early evening and just watch TV the rest of the night. So it's just not as big for us as Christmas Eve is. And in terms of food, we have never ever done turkey. Like in Belgium, that's not a tradition to have turkey at Christmas. I feel like we don't think turkey is special enough because you have turkey any day of the year. What my family does is we usually fondue on Christmas Eve. Fondue is interesting to me because I know that, or I only discovered recently that in a lot of countries, I think including the US, fondue is considered either chocolate or cheese. That's not the case in Belgium. We fondue with meat. You can do chocolate and cheese, it's just we would specifically call it chocolate fondue and cheese fondue. Regular fondue is with meat. You just have a fondue set. You put oil in it, heat that up, and then you put your meat on a stick and just fry it. But it's nice because it usually keeps you at the table for a couple of hours. Everyone individually makes their own food. You get like some salads with it and bread, and it's just nice. I love doing fondue. And then on Christmas Day, we usually eat like wild animals kind of thing. Like we eat like deer or boar, or pheasant or something like that. Like usually my mom tends to make a stew of something like that. We kind of go a little bit more special and eat something that we at least typically wouldn't eat throughout the year. That's something that we only eat on Christmas Day. I also know from a German friend of mine that they don't put up their tree until Christmas Eve. Like their Christmas tree per tradition goes up on Christmas Eve. As where I have no tradition about when I put up my tree. I try to always do it the last weekend of November because I feel like that's close enough to December. But this year I put it up much earlier. And honestly, if it was socially acceptable, I'd always put it up a lot earlier. My mom usually puts her up I think beginning of December. I think most people in Belgium don't put theirs up until St. Nicholas has passed, which is December 6th. So, yeah, that's some of the traditions there. In Ireland, I mean, this year, a lot of houses put up their decorations around the time I did, but usually they wouldn't do it until early December. Turkey is very much a Christmas meal here. Ireland in general is not super adventurous when it comes to food. Like stuff that I would eat in Belgium, I don't think you can even find it on sale here necessarily. So they're pretty traditional with their meals, and I'm pretty sure that they tend to eat turkey on Christmas. I do think Christmas Day is more important here than Christmas Eve, but I'm not sure. I also want to say that in Belgium it's not necessarily that way. Like for my family, Christmas Eve is more important. I think in Belgium it's kind of 50-50. It's not like tradition that one day is more important than the other. So that was it for this video. I am actually not going to be in Ireland for Christmas, so I'm trying my hardest to pre-record a bunch of videos because I will not be taking my recording equipment with me. But I am really struggling, so I'm hoping to have at least one video a week for you guys for